noon game. Number 7, Penn State at Illinois. Again, noon Eastern on Fox. I don't expect this one to be close, and I expect it to be over quite soon. Illinois did not look great against Toledo and won that game on a wing and a prayer, as I watched Luke Altmaier get absolutely waylaid, throw a duck. That duck landed in Illinois players' hands, and they won the game. But Toledo was right there, okay? Penn State, on the other hand, their season is going to be defined by 2 games. And I'm sorry to tell Illini fans, this ain't one of them, okay? Those 2 games are Ohio State and Michigan. That's it. That is the bar for Nittany Lions fans, because they know what they have. They have a talented quarterback in Drew Aller. They have 2 talented running backs in Katron Allen and Nick Singleton. They're great at the wide receiver position, Keandre Landry Smith and Dante Cephas. And Manny Diaz's defense is doing what it did last year. They've allowed just 22 points all season. Now, granted, one of those teams is West Virginia, who might be the worst team in the Big 12. And the other one, I don't know what you're going to learn out of beating up on Delaware and the Blue Hens, the Fighting Joe Flacco's, but they did it 63-7, right? And now they get back to Big Ten beatings. And I feel like that's going to be Illinois this time. It should not be no overtimes. That's not a good look for you, Penn State. You need to be able to put this one away rather early. Also, shouts to Drew Aller, who has not thrown a pick yet. Now, is Luke Altmaier capable? Absolutely. They unlocked a new part of that man's game against Kansas. That dude leads the team in rushing because he was running for his life from Kansas. Kansas, on a Friday night, said, no, Illini, it is our turn to take you to the woodshed. And that is what Jalen Daniels and Devin Neal and them boys did. I was so excited for Lance Leipold's squad, not just because they were beating up on Illinois, but because Lance was over there looking like, all right, cool. Like he expected them to go out and purport themselves like that. Rock, chalk, and they went out and whopped. Like, I'm excited for Kansas football. But I watched Illinois going, ooh, this might be a rough year because this is a program that is not built to outscore people. Brett Bielema wants to run the football and play sound defense. Already, they're probably having to throw the football more often than he wants to. And certainly they're not showing that they're playing the kind of defense that they did when Ryan Walters was coordinator last year, and he's since become head coach at Purdue. So we shall see. But giving up 31 a game, that ain't going to help you, Illinois. Penn State, do what we expect you to do. Show us you're the number 7 team in the country. All right, on to number 11, Tennessee at Florida. Tennessee is only favored by 6.5 in this game. Is it a trap game? This is a good question, right? Because I watched Tennessee's game against Austin Peay, and I saw a number of things for which I think they can correct. I also see why Vols fans are upset, right? A, Austin Peay threw the kitchen sink at Tennessee in the first drive. I saw a double pass, right? I saw them run the polecat. I saw them run 5 wide receivers to one side. I saw them go from 4th to 2 with Mike DeLillo rumbling, bubbling, stumbling for 45 yards and set up for a field goal. And then I watched Joe Milton start the game 1 for 8. Not because he was inaccurate, but because he's throwing howitzers at these dudes and they can't catch him. Joe, you got to throw a catchable football. We all know Bazooka Joe lives, right? But if Brew McCoy and Squirrel can't catch the football, you're not helping yourself, my dude. Like, they got to be able to wrap their heads around it so they can make them yards after play for you. Now, also in there, Jalen Wright makes that team go. They were running this, man, they run 25 and 26 trap like it was going out of style against Austin Peay because they get it blocked up and then Jalen would go do his damn thing. And eventually Joe Milton found his way 11-12. They scored their first touchdown in the last 15 seconds of the first half. And then they scored their second touchdown in the first 90 seconds of the second half, right? Game ends 30-13. But again, Austin Peay wanted it. Like, head coach is calling timeouts right as Josh Heupel's hyperspeed offense is getting going. He's challenging stuff. He's yelling on the sidelines. Austin Peay and the Governors were selling out to beat Tennessee. And you still dropped 30 on them, and they only scored 13. Calm down, Volunteers fans. I think you're going to be okay, because I'm also looking at a Florida team that got beat by Utah. And it's not that they got beat by Utah so much as they got beat by Utah without Cam Rising. Baylor damn near upset Utah without Cam Rising. You see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Same Baylor team that ain't have Blake Shapen, their starting quarterback, and lost to Texas State. Okay? I don't know how much you expect me to give you, an applause for beating up on McNeese State 49-7. Matter of fact, I don't know what you can learn by beating up on a quarterback and an offense for which McNeese State, okay, put it another way. Quarterback at Penn State went 14 of 45 against Tarleton State. 14 of 45 against the Texans. And you want me to give you an attaboy for beating them up in the swamp? I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Now, that said, Montrell Johnson, he got it going on. Trevor Etienne, he got it going on too. Maybe there is a side to Overland Park, Kansas's own Graham Mertz that I just ain't seen yet. Because I know Ricky Pearsall can get it done, right? And they got some dudes on defense, but I think that all Tennessee has to do is get into something like a rhythm, because that is not an offense that's going to score with Tennessee. There aren't a whole lot of offenses that are going to score with Tennessee. So you only need Tim Banks' defense to come up here and there, and they will. Aaron Beasley's a dude. Like, at one point, I'm watching that game. He had 11 tackles in the third quarter and 2 sacks by the third quarter. He also should have had a fumble recovery that was overturned. This game was all over the place. Again, this is why we watch football games. Like, I watch them, right? So I can give you a really good opinion, because I'm not pulling this out of my behind, and I'm certainly not just reading the stats. Watch the football games and you'll see this, right? So I don't think this is a trap game. I understand if you're a Volunteers fan, it's Tennessee and it's Florida. And I understand you feel some kind of way about Florida, but not for nothing. We all feel some kind of way about Florida. Okay. I'm an Oklahoma fan, 2008. You hear what I'm saying? Okay. I was here for Chris Leak, and I didn't know this dude Tebow. And then I learned that Tim Tebow apparently existed when Chris Leak won that national championship 2006. We all got something against Florida. That's what I'm saying, right? But if Tennessee went down there and gave the Gators stomp, I would not be surprised. Now, I thought this was interesting. I got this from producer Tyler. Tennessee ain't been to Gainesville and won since 2003. So maybe y'all feeling some kind of way about not having to sit on that for 20 years. I get it. But again, Florida lost season opener 24-11, and they outgained Utah 346-270. They had the ball, and they were 1 of 13 on third down. I think that you're going to have to score every time you have the rock if you are Florida. And if you're Tennessee, just don't give the ball back so quickly. Because at one point, I'm looking at the Austin Peay game, and I look down. Tennessee hadn't even had the ball as long as the current drive that I was watching was going on for Austin Peay. Like, the drive lasted like 6:39, ended in 3 points, and Tennessee had the ball 5:46. Now, that's the nature of the offense, but I'm saying, if you go 3 and out quickly, I guarantee you Billy Napier is going to sit on the football, because that's what I would do. I would sit on the football. Why would I want to give the ball back to Joe Milton and Jalen Wright and Brew McCoy? I wouldn't want to do that. I would never want to do that. Now, how important is this for Billy Napier's tenure at Florida? Every SEC game is important for an SEC coach, right? But I don't think that's what we're asking here. I think what we're asking here is, if he beats Tennessee, do Florida fans feel better about him going into 2024? Absolutely. If he gets stomped out by Tennessee, well, they might have the opposite kind of opinion. Now, also in there, I think this is interesting. Joe Milton has yet to throw an interception in his last 233 pass attempts. Somehow, Josh Heupel put together the kind of offense that Hendon Hooker and Joe Milton can both be almost perfect, right? Like, it was a long time before we saw Hooker throw an interception. It might be a long time before we see Joe Milton throw an interception as well. And we're talking about 20 TDs since then, and we're talking about leading them to the Orange Bowl. So I'm excited for this one, but I just think Tennessee is a good football team, and they should go and win this game in the swamp. All right, let's go to number 19, Oklahoma at Tulsa. The RJ Bowl. I'm so excited about this one because it's down the road from where I am right now. It's at my alma mater. I went to grad school at Oklahoma. I covered Oklahoma when I first got started in this thing. And I've been covering college football for half my life. I started writing about sports at the University of Tulsa. And I got a nephew playing on the 2 deep at N, shout out Owen Ostrowski, at the University of Tulsa. And I got 29 kiddos on both rosters. I got 29 kiddos from the Tulsa metro area who are playing at either Oklahoma or Tulsa. And I'm talking about Tulsa Public Schools represented. We got Regent Prep and Owasso represented out here. Yo, we got Metro Christian out here. We got Holland Hall out here, Union. My goodness, I saw 2 Booker T's from each side. I was so astonished. And then we got Edison out here. I'm about to be on, right? Not to mention Kevin Wilson was the offensive coordinator at Oklahoma when I was an undergrad, and Oklahoma came down in 2008 and stomped out Tulsa. Like, I'm a cheerleader on the sideline, right? And at halftime, Oklahoma's up 14-7. And I'm the dude on the squad that knows football. So I got cheerleaders who were going, yo, RJ, we could win this. We could win this. Like, nah, you just pissed them off. That's all. They're about to go in there. Bob's about to tear everybody a new ass on the speech, and that's going to be all she wrote. And it was. Lost game 6-3-14. Okay. It might be similar, but maybe not. I say might be similar because if Braylon Braxton don't play quarterback at the University of Tulsa this weekend, I don't see how Oklahoma's going to have to respect anything passing related. Like, I saw Cardell. He's a great runner, but that's what he was doing against UAPB. I don't see Roman Wilson as the dude, right? We wanted Braylon to come back because Braylon can sling it, but if your starting quarterback ain't out there and it's Kevin Wilson's offense, yeah, you really one-dimensional. Now, maybe they know something I don't, but I'm going to be here for it, not to mention that Oklahoma's defense has been kind of filthy the last couple of weeks. Like, gave up 0 against Arkansas State, gave up 11 against Southern Methodist. Danny Stutzman had 17 tackles last week. Yeah, they own something different at Oklahoma. It's also a little bit hard to nail them down as to how good this team is going to be or not going to be, and I don't think we're going to have a real read on that until Oklahoma plays Texas, because we know how good Texas is now, right? But I feel good about either one of those teams, and hopefully, the kiddos that are from the Tulsa area can show out in a huge way. I want everybody to see the field. This is one of those things that you dream about if you grow up here, because this game doesn't get played as often as you might think, right? Bedlam was every year till the end of this year. This is a game that happens in Tulsa like every 7 years, right? So you really got to be born at the right time to go play in this game, let alone have a kid who plays in this game. So all the parents that listen to the show, I'm with you. You got my whole heart. I'm going to be coming unglued no matter what happens, right? Because somebody is going to be let down. Somebody's going to be raised up. And I'm going to have my arms around both of them, because Tulsa men, I love y'all. And Tulsa boys absolutely smack. Man, just the third sellout at H.A. Chapman since 2008. I graduated 2010. That's how long it's been. All right, let's go to number 8, Washington at Michigan State. Now, Michigan State's going to head into this game with Harlan Barnett as the acting head coach, and Mark D'Antonio has come out of retirement to assist as an associate head coach. But I don't think that's going to necessarily matter because Washington's really good. Washington also played the University of Tulsa just last week. And yeah, they went about the way you might expect it to go. Michael Penix Jr. threw for over 400 yards. Washington put up 560 yards of offense. Washington's averaging 49.5 a game. Michael Penix Jr. is averaging 429.5 passing a game. Rome Odunze and, my goodness, Jalen McMillan are just one of the two best. I think one of the two best tandems at wide receiver in the sport. And I expect them to go straight at that Michigan State secondary that Scotty Hazelton just hasn't got to click right away. Now, I also think that this game being at Michigan State at this moment is regrettable, but it sucks to talk about, right? It sucks to talk about because Mel Tucker is suspended indefinitely, right? His suspension was announced by interim Michigan State president on Sunday. And the reason that they gave for his suspension was unprofessional behavior and not living up to the core values of the department and the university. You can read from that statement that he's suspended because they learned that there are allegations of sexual harassment against Mel Tucker from Brenda Tracy, who's a prominent rape survivor and educator of young men about how they can purport themselves in and around women as football players. We're talking about cisgender football players. Most importantly here, I can get into this in that it seems like the Michigan State brass did not know about Mel Tucker, the details of the allegations leveled at Mel Tucker until ESPN and USA Today broke the news late Sunday or early Sunday morning, I should say, late Saturday night, and they were reacting to this. Now, the quote that was given by the Michigan State University president, I think, is kind of tone deaf. This morning's news might sound like the MSU of old. It was not, probably making reference to Larry Nassar and that sordid, awful sexual assault scandal. But what this does is, A, you should have done something about this before you were pressed to do something about it, right? Because this had been known for months, at least inside the Title IX offices at Michigan State. Now, I don't want any administration to go messing with the Title IX office in the middle of investigation. But if you know about it, you should say something well before somebody presses you to say something. Second thing about this is we're going to find something out October 5th and 6th when they're scheduled to have hearings about this complaint and what the Title IX investigators, outside investigators, have found. Hopefully we'll get a lot of sunlight on this because sunlight is the best disinfectant. But this just sucks. It's week 3. You know, I want people to yell at me for overreacting to Colorado. I want people to put Florida State in the college football playoff before they win an ACC championship. I don't want to be talking about this. This sucks. Northwestern, the hazing scandal. This sexual harassment scandal at Michigan State. Art Briles on a sideline. These are avoidable. Washington State and Oregon State got to sue the Pac-12 for a restraining order because they don't want the other members or outgoing members to have a seat at the table. We're doing this stuff in the middle of the season. We got 9 months to do all of this noise and crap. Why are we doing this during football season? You know, I say it often, and I need to say it again. We have the longest offseason in sports. We get 12 weeks to show out, to have a great time, to be in each other's company and not talk about this crap. I never thought I would say, is it that hard to be a good human? But that's what I'm asking now. It's football season. You know, I thought football was supposed to be the thing that purports to teach men life lessons and has that front and center all the time. Faith, family, values. Keep the main thing the main thing. I was always taught that football, at least at a college program, was the main thing. Stay eligible so you can play football. Get good grades so you can play football. Hit your workout so you can play football. Stay out of trouble so you can play football. No, we're here talking about garbage in week 3. Thank you for watching the #1 college football show. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and like this video so that you don't miss any of the best college football coverage in America.